may run down your spine. Fear looks beyond the edge of sight. Carry on to the glory, to the great victory. Never give up till you die. Never give up in this life. For every war that you win bright, it's time to become. Never give up on your mind. Hold your weapons, try to fight. For every kingdom that falls and rise, it's time to become legendary. Get yours, sharpen your knife. Make way to find your destiny. Worship a man or a shrine. Can both recall the scattered. In the wild town of wardrobes, tearing down all the enemies. You better capture the arcs. The carriers may bog you down. Set up for the swiftest ride. Sneaky Texas work as a best alive. Carry on to the glory, to the great victory. Never give up till you die. Never give up in this life. For every war that you win bright, it's time to become. Never give up on your mind. Hold your weapons, try to fight. For every kingdom that falls and rise, it's time to become legendary. Across the ocean lands, stories will be told. How you struggle, how you try to define the world. With a sacred name, you are the one chosen to start up the storm. Never give up till you die. Never give up in this life. For every war that you win bright, it's time to become. Never give up on your mind. Hold your weapons, try to fight. For every kingdom that falls and rise, it's time to become legendary.
Hello, governors. Welcome to the 2024 Grand Prix lower bracket semifinals. I am your host, Plato Gaming caster and content creator for Rise of Kingdoms. And today we are joined by a longtime content creator, Redline. Glad to be here with you, man.
Hey, glad to be with you here. And hello, everybody in chat. We got another amazing matchup coming up. Plato, how are you feeling about this matchup coming up, buddy?
This is going to be a very interesting matchup. It is a reboot between the two teams in 466S's sister team, 466W. And 93T are pretty busy currently in KVK. But, you know, for those that do not know, the Grand Prix is the pinnacle of competitive Osiris League where the best of the best teams from both the international server and the Chinese server get to compete to prove themselves as the best Osiris League teams in the world. And today we are in that semifinals for the lower bracket, meaning that these teams need a win to keep their Grand Prix hopes alive. And as we said, the matchup we are casting today will feature 93T versus 466W. Not a team matchup, not a team rematch, but a kingdom rematch, where 93T are the only international server team left in the Grand Prix and are coming from a very close 1,000 point victory against 466S, which are 466W's sister team, while 466W have been doubted and seen as underdogs throughout the tournament throughout most of their matchups, but have come through to prove the doubters wrong time and time again. And with their sister team Redline, 466S being eliminated from the Grand Prix, 466W are looking to prove the doubters wrong yet again and move on to the lower bracket finals. So Redline, my question to you is, will 93T continue to carry the international server hopes and dreams alive, or will 466W continue to prove the doubters wrong and take revenge for their sister team? What do you think?
I mean, I've said this before in the previous matches. You know, I'm rooting for 93T because they're the last international server playing in this tournament. But 466W has a little revenge match for their sister team. So it's going to be a very, very tight match. But Plata, like you said, 93T is in Kingsland right now. I know it's only like 30 players playing, but those 30 players could be key players in this Kingsland. So really interested to see how 93T does while they're in Kingsland. It's going to be a close one, man. And the match last week was what I think it was less than 1,000 points. So they had to play this flawlessly to continue on to the tournament. So we'll see who's going to come out a victor, but I'm hoping that 93T pulls it off. How about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, as an international server player, I think you have to go for 93T. You know, they've been the only international server team here for about a round now. So it's really rough for them though, because the Kingsland is a 1v3. For those that don't know, it's a 1 versus 3 heroic anthem Kingsland, and their opponents are doing numbers right now. You know, going head to head against 93T, which is, you know, very, very admirable. So 93T, I don't think they really, and before the Kingsland, they had Zone 7 fights as well. So it's not like, oh yeah, before Friday, they had all this time to prepare. International server teams already struggle to find time to practice. And on top of having Kingsland and KVK, it's going to be a very, very busy, and it has been a very, very busy weekend for 93T. The Grand Prix lower bracket semifinals being on that plate for them. Now the question is, as you said, can they make it through, or will 466S get that revenge? That is going to be the main question of the day. But 93T, I mean, they haven't been practicing as much as other teams in the Grand Prix. So hopefully that means that, you know, they are good with what they have currently. We will have to see what happens though, because it's going to be a very, very interesting matchup.
Agreed. And good luck to both teams. They're almost at the finish line. You know, this is a go big or go home kind of situation. So rooting for both teams to have a great matchup, and give us a preview of what we saw last week, because that last match we saw with 93T and 466S was insane. It was insane. It was a long time since I've seen a match like that. And again, thanks to both teams for giving us a show, and hopefully we'll see a replay of that this upcoming match.
Hopefully we'll see a replay of that indeed. And, you know, the winner of this match will make it to the best of 3 stage. It'll be the lower bracket finals. They will face the loser of 732A versus GY16, which is the match that is streaming on the other stream in the Rise of Kingdoms channel, where Dirty Dan and Brian Koo are streaming. So it'll be really, really interesting. These teams are now in the top 4 and trying to move on to that top 3, trying to move on to the lower bracket finals as we get into game here. It is time. Grand Prix time. International servers' very own 93T in the top side here, top left corner. Silent Flow interviewed on the Plato channel, you know, talking about the ins and outs of 93T, their history, and how they practice, and the struggles of an international team. Making it all the way to the semifinals of the lower bracket, while they've been in the lower bracket for quite some time now, losing their second match in the upper bracket. 466W having an even longer lower bracket run. I believe they lost their first match and have won every match since. So it'll be really, really interesting to see if 466W can prevail here. Redline, what are your predictions for this match? How many points do you think this match will come down to?
I'm gonna put it out in the universe, Plato. I'm hoping that will be like a less than 1,000 point match. I wanted to go down to the last 2 minutes like we did last week. Because I'm assuming, like, you know, 466W. Again, this is just assumptions. I'm assuming they do practice matches with their, you know, their sister teams, and they have somewhat similar strategies. And, you know, I feel like they have somewhat the slight advantage because that 93T is in Kingsland, so they probably had more time to practice, more time to look at film, you know, so many other factors. Again, I don't know if they're in KVK or not, or whatnot, but I know that 93T is definitely in a big Kingsland fight. And I'm assuming that 93T's opponents right now who are familiar with, the Grand Prix are definitely probably putting pedal to the metal in Kingsland right now. Because again, I know it's just 30 players who are not playing, but from looking at who's involved right now in Grand Prix from the 93T side, they have some great players participating. So that hour, whoever's not on the Grand Prix team for 93, definitely need to hold the front line while these guys battle out here in Grand Prix.
This is going to be, I bet you the 3 other camps that they're versing had a Discord ping, had a mail saying regroup at 14 UTC, full push.
I'm telling you, because that's one flag burn, right? I'm not sure which KVK mode they're in, but that's one flag burn. That's a big deal in Kingsland. So there's definitely a Discord ping, because Plano, you and both I know, and many people here in the chat will know, we be doing the same thing. We OL is up or Grand Prix is up, everybody set their rallies. So
we did that against 60 GT when we versed them, and they were in Osiris League. So as we get into the game here, the gates have dropped. It is energetic used from 93T, energetic used by 466W, and we'll have to see where they place their sentries. Looks like the first initial sentry from 466W will be on the 93 Desert Altar lane here. Pretty interesting, perhaps trying to deny vision from 93T in this Desert Altar area.
Do you see the amount of marches are going there? It looks like all those marches from the 466W side, like looks like there's like double what I'm used to. Look at that push. Are we gonna see
quite a couple marches? Yeah.
Are we to see a double stack push to the Desert Altar?
This might be like an all-in flip one side type of vibe.
That's what I'm thinking. Because that's more than, again, I'm not great at math, chat, but that number looks like a lot more than what I'm used to. But I could be wrong, but it looks pretty heavy.
Look at 93T's line in comparison. This is like a normal Oreo. This is double chunky stuffed, multiple layers of marches here.
Oh, this is a double Oreo right here versus a single Oreo row. We have to see.
Well,
so really
that is going to be super interesting. Yeah, because
they do.
This top side is going to be super overloaded. That means that 93T should have. Oh, they do have a sentry. They should see the marches come in, and they'll probably see the chunky marches we were talking about. And my goodness, if you're 93T, what do? I think you still keep to your current positions, because it's not like you could now all of a sudden shift the marches that we're walking down to the Desert Altar. I think now they'll just play more aggressively on the Desert Altar, perhaps try to aggress on the Shrine of Life as well, and trade the bottom lane structures for the top lane structures, because this is a ton of marches. Some of them still under Fog of War in this inner lane side, but you could see a little bit of them if 93T is on their game here. Oh my goodness, Redline. How do you think this is going to go? Do you think it's going to be a trade, or do you think 466W will get the upper hand here in this Desert Altar?
I mean, based on what I'm seeing right now, I feel like the 466W has the advantage in terms of numbers, and I think we just saw Teardown being used right now from a skill set perspective. So I'm really interested to see where they place that, and then I think they're just trying to go for first occupation scores right now. So
Teardown used. Wow. Teardown. That is the first time I think we've seen that in the Grand Prix, and it's in the semifinals of the lower bracket. Sneaky Tactics.
In Tactics.
Also used.
What I'm just saying. Okay, let's see what's going to happen here. I'm very curious to see 466W's mentality when it comes down to this. Okay, so we're seeing it on, I think most likely to be used on the Desert Altar.
Yep.
Oh, Plano, I don't know. This is interesting, man.
This is very, very interesting play. This is non-standard play used by 466W. This indicates to me that they've been practicing a lot. There's no way you pull this out in the semifinals in a winner go home scenario and just try it for the first time. As you can see, the 93T Murder Ball getting ambushed from stealth here with the Sneaky Tactics, now starting to walk away. They're giving up this Desert Altar, which in my opinion is pretty smart. They know that they're outnumbered here. They saw the amount of marches. So you could see that they're starting to walk back. They're starting to retreat. But will the obelisk be safe? There's 2 minutes before this obelisk actually starts generating points and actually could be teleported to. And 466W is starting to walk to this obelisk.
Oh man! Now the question is, like, they have to commit to something here now, right? So like 466W, like, are they going to do the obelisk play? Like that would be huge. Or stick to the Desert Ultra. But right now, like, they definitely outnumber 93T on this top side over here. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out.
Yeah, this is going to be super interesting. The 93T marches making their last stand, making sure that they get this obelisk, but it is going to be very, very tough. 1 minute 15 seconds until the teleports come in. Dust up used by 466W. This is an all-in by 466W. Dust up in response from 93T. They know that if they defend this Desert Altar push, this will be a pretty easy win in terms of tempo. But with 1 minute to go, swarmers around this obelisk. If they hold this obelisk, that'll be a big win. But it looks like this obelisk is going down, Redline. This obelisk is going down for 93T. It is getting chunked. No reinforcements, no teleports. This is disaster from 93T.
Another thing too to also point out, Plato, is that because of those marches that went to the top side for 6W, where did they cut? Like, where did they have to take those marches from? And it looks like if you look on the bottom side of the map, everything is blue. So did they shift those individuals from the bottom side to support the top? So like now they have to make this work because of that. But they do have the obelisk. So can they hold that and completely take over the top side?
So what I think is they used teardown. They were able to flip the obelisk, which is why the timer was so delayed. As you can see, in the other obelisks, all the other teleports came in. They were able to use teardown, flip the obelisk with some form of rally or something, and then now they are in the driver's seat. So many open field marches around here. They are swarming down this Desert Altar. This is a flipped map, but 466W have the teleports on this bottom side obelisk, meaning that obelisk is pretty safe. Then they do have an avenue to attack the 93T at Desert Altar that they were able to take from 466W. This Redline, this is going to be a very, very tough.
This is going to be tough. This is going to be tough because topside, right? They lost the obelisk completely. No cities are teleported there. And then 466W is going to bring their marches up. So now how is 93T going to respond? This is the crucial part of the match right now. They need to... I don't know, but as we're just showing the screen, I don't know how you're going to do it because they literally have a strong presence at that obelisk plot, and they have a minute 30 seconds to get it back.
A minute 30 seconds, and if the teleports come in, it's going to be impossible for them to take back. We have to remember, all of the accounts have the same amount of troops, have the same amount of commanders, same of everything. So having that many troops beside a structure is going to be impossible to take back. They use sneaky tactics in response, trying to make sure that they get this obelisk down, because they know that if they don't get their obelisk back, this will be game. They're already playing a 1v3 in Kingsland, Redline. They can't play a 1v3 in obelisks in Ark of Osiris as well.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is tough, man. That was tough. That was great. First off, great play by 466W. I didn't anticipate that, right? To kind of sacrifice your bottom lane, to shift everything towards that Desert Ultra play to get the obelisk. That was great from 466W. Now, 93T, current champions in its own right. How can they respond? This is going to be crucial. And I think, what's it like, 20, 30 seconds left, before 466W can teleport in. So really just see how they're going to play this out.
There's 15 seconds on my screen, and this obelisk looks like it's safe. This obelisk is taken by 466W. And my goodness, 93T must enjoy the 1 versus 3, because the 1 versus 3 in terms of obelisks is pretty much a death sentence in Grand Prix, in Ark of Osiris. The teleports now coming in from 466W. The cavalry, the reinforcements here. And look at the teleports. This is like perfect teleportation space around the obelisk. My goodness, that was like the Avengers coming in. is
Oh,
Avengers
man.
Assemble. This is like, look at how even these teleports are. What the heck? But these guys are so practiced. This is pretty much in their playbook. Everything going according to plan right now from 466W. And now 93T are reeling back, trying to figure out what to do. Because they're going to lose the structure game. They are going to be down so many teleports. When you capture the obelisk, you get an extra 8 teleports. You could see that there are barely any cities left. This is only 13 minutes in. There's only 4 cities left in 466W's territory. 93T though, they are hunkered down in their starting zone.
So, well, the question is, Plata, like, at this point of the match, right? You lost the whole top side in terms of, it's gonna be hard for them to get it. It's gonna be hard. What do they do? Like, what can you do? Like, I don't know the answer right now. They could be super aggressive in the bottom lane, you know, try to take the opponent's obelisk, but at the same time, 466W has multiple cities ready to teleport, so it'll be just a struggle just to get it back and forth. So I think the only dude they can do is just offset and win arcs. Like, I don't know. They're not. It's not over yet, but I don't know what they can do.
This was an absolutely huge play from 466W. And it's funny because Silent Flow in the interview kind of referenced how the Chinese server teams are a lot more reserved this year in the Grand Prix compared to last year. Last year, taking or going for an obelisk play, which is seen as an all-in, because it's either you take the obelisk and you win the game, or the enemy holds the obelisk and you're down in tempo for the rest of the game. GY16 did something similar to 93T last Grand Prix, and 93T were able to hold it, at least, you know, able to make do with it. Will 93T be able to make do with it this time? It's going to be really, really rough, and I think they have to play a mid game, which we have not seen from 93T in quite some time.
Yeah, they have to. Like, they have to do that because right now, again, they're controlling, you know, a good portion of structure in the bottom lane, right? So that will somewhat offset the points that 466W is getting. So it's going to be a mid. They have to fight for tooth and nail for this mid. My only concern is that the amount of time it takes for 93T's marches to get to the middle before 466W is literally cut in half. Like, they can literally just cut their marches as they come through the middle. That's tough.
Yeah, they're gonna have to, it's gonna be like KVK, where if you're facing a bigger kingdom, all the bigger kingdom people will random teleport. Essentially, that obelisk is that random teleport in your backside next to your pass. That 400 million power whale, just continuing to shred marches that go in one by one. So 93T will actually be forced to murder ball up in front of their gate here, go middle. But right now, it does look like they have some middle control. It is 35 seconds left until this arc spawns. And, I mean, the avenue for 93T to come back into this game would, I guess, just, would just be to focus mid and capture as many arcs as possible, right? Just insta-capture arcs over and over and over again, because I don't know how else it could come back into this with only owning 1/4 of the map here.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm struggling with right now. I'm looking across the map right now, and like literally 460W is pushing heavy on these structures, and they own pretty much 80% of the map, Plotto. So like I'm really getting a little concerned here, right? Are they gonna just completely run away with this, or will 93T pull something out of the bag? And I want to see how this first arc goes, because if they, which basically I know 93T pulled that off. How can they shift this game back into the momentum?
It looks like they did get first pull, and the points actually look in 93T's favor, because 93T had been able to deny first capture of the upper desert altar, of the lower desert altar. And in all honesty, the longer that they could deny first capture, the better. Hopefully they could continue to deny first capture as this arc carrier is moving here. But as you can see, there's heavy focus from 93T in this middle lane. And this is going to be their pathway to victory. They need to capture as many arcs as possible, perhaps start provisioning. And look at the provisioners coming out already from 466W. They're provisioning in 93T's side. They're provisioning on the side where 93T's upper home obelisk, currently now in 466W's control. And those are provisioners or caravans that 93T would have access to. Now they do not. So they're going to be down in tempo in terms of provisioning. They're going to be down in tempo in terms of the building game. The only thing that they can salvage is that ARC game, Redline.
I mean, in my head, I'm thinking about, is it enough, Mono? Is it enough? Like, and I'm not sure, because there's so much time left on the map, and every minute goes by, all of those structures that 466W has on the top side is just gonna widen the gap. So, I mean, if right now, based on what you're saying, if they're doing the arc, 93T's focusing on arc, they gotta keep turning these bad boys in and keep preparing to go in the middle, like to even keep this close. But 46W has the occupation, has the provisioning, because they have more access to it, and all they have to do is really just continue to contest those arcs. But hopefully 93T can pull something out of the back here and stabilize this.
Has there ever been a 5 arc game in Grand Prix or Osiris League? Is it even possible to have? Is it even possible for there to be a 5 arc game? I actually don't know. But if 93T want to win this game, they have to pull off the impossible, which is a 5 arc game in my opinion. Look at the points per minute, Redline. It's 280 to 810. Literally gaining about 3 times the amount of points of 93T.
Yeah, this is gonna be, oh man, like I'm still going back to that play. Like, we called it right when I saw that amount of marches going for that Desert Ultra. I'm like, wow, that's more than what people are used to, right? And then right when I saw them make that push, I'm like, oh, this is not looking good. This is not looking good. So that call they made was definitely the play, because even though they sacrificed that bottom lane just to hopefully make this work, it worked, Bottle, and that's where practice came in, and just taking the risk, and it's paying off so far for 466W.
Chesco and I were talking about this when we were casting a match together. The Chinese server team, they love not over investing, but putting a ton of marches into one lane, wiping the opponent's murder ball, then going to the other lane and wiping the other murder ball as well. Because hypothetically, if you outnumber your opponents 2-1, you should be able to wipe the split murder ball. So for example, they would wipe the Desert Altar assault here, put all the marches to the Desert Altar, then send all the marches that won that Desert Altar to the Sky Altar. In my opinion, this is kind of like a big variant of that, where instead of sending all of your marches in one side of the map to the Desert Altar, you're sending all of your marches in the game, except for a couple people to hold the obelisk, to your opponent's obelisk. And man, has that paid off. And 93T, we're not expecting a huge play from 466W, which will be the name of the game for the rest of the match here.
It's, you called it right. Like now 466W literally has the full momentum of the match. Like, this is their game to lose, Plato. If they don't pull this off and take a victory here, that's all on 466W, because they have all the tools necessary and made the right place to make it happen. And again, I wouldn't count 93T out, but this is definitely 466W game to lose.
They are in the driver's seat. They are in the lead. And my goodness, they are provisioning like crazy. 93T, they do have some provisioners of their own. They have 1, 2, 3, 4. So that indicates to me that they're going to still try. They're going to still attempt in this game. You don't provision for fun. So they are trying to do what they can with what they have. But it is an uphill battle. They keep losing their Sky Altar. This is the only altar that they're close to with the teleports. This is the only altar that should not be affected with that obelisk play. And now we can see that 466W, knowing that the arc is 93T's only win condition, starting to rotate super early here, 4 minutes before the arc spawns.
Yeah, just looking at it now, right? Like, because 466W has that top side, they have 10, 12 people that will be able to kind of cut off 93T's marches coming from their home base. So that's going to be huge for them to kind of like I guess, strengthy numbers are coming towards the middle because 46W's return march time is so small compared to 93T. So
Red
we're
line.
gonna see. Yeah.
There's 9 people in the game.
No. Oh, it's unfortunate. It looks like a GG's then, Plato. Looks like a GG's.
Yeah, this is a white flag.
White flag has been raised. I mean, hey, that's tough for any team to come back from. Like I feel like it's a very, very tough thing for any team to come back from. Really tough to see. What a play by 466W. I mean, Plato. But I couldn't think of anything else they could have done differently there. Like, how can you counter that situation? Like, no one saw that coming.
This is GG's buy placed by 466W. It was a valiant effort from 93T, making it all the way to the lower bracket semifinals. But 466W, that obelisk play, which we have not seen throughout the Grand Prix, they brought it out, they brought it in, and my goodness, they were able to destroy and dismantle 93T to the point where 93T said, hey, we got a KVK to go to, we got a Kingsland to go to. This is a lost arc. We tried our best, but at the end of the day, we could not succeed. It's a rough matchup and it's a rough time, but it's a rough way to exit this tournament. But it is still a valiant effort from 93T and what they've done.
Yeah, I mean, like they went through the gauntlet, Plato. The matchup they had to go through to get to this point was brutal. They fought against 466S, so that close game, 24-89, like a champion itself as well. So this is a really tough gauntlet for 93T. Plus getting to KVK right now in a 1v3 situation. So kudos to them for just for continue to make it this far in the Grand Prix and being the last international server participating in this event, and still doing a 1v3 Kingsland. And then shout out to 466W. That play call was great to see, and it definitely a one to make them move on to the next round of this matchup.
This is GG, so we are going to go back to the booth here. Redline, do you have any final notes for the last hope of 93T in the international server getting snuffed out, and for 466W able to get revenge for 466S?
I mean, again, man, like any team, elite or just an average team, that situation happens. Like, there's only so much you can do, and then you're at that point where you're in Kingsland, in a 1v3 situation, probably lack of sleep. Everyone. I mean, you can only hope, you can only wish you could bring that 500 million power account with you, but it's tough. And then you kind of have to make that play call of like, hey, you take our loss here and then focus up on the other thing. So it was tough, and I can't blame for 93T to say, hey, we know when it's a GG and move on. So Plato, they made it this far. Kudos to them for making it this far, and congrats to 466W for making it to the next round of the Grand Prix.
And congratulations indeed. 466W will be playing the loser of the match that you will be sent to right now, which is 732A versus GY16. We are going to be raiding Dirty Dan and Brian Koo. So appreciate you guys for coming through. Redline, appreciate you for casting alongside me, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Have a good one, everybody.